Dear viewers, welcome to Women Entrepreneurship in Gastroeconomics session of the fourth Virtual Food Fair, organized by Aegean Exporters Union with the support from Turkey Exporters Assembly and under the auspices of the Ministry of Commerce. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Serkan Arman. I'm a journalist working for Milliyet Newspaper. I'm honored to have four distinguished women entrepreneurs with me in this session. I'm sure their stories will inspire us all. In alphabetical order, Esen Tümer is the founder of Essential Evolutions. After 25 years in corporate life, she established a technology-driven startup. Gizem Şalcıgil is the founder of Turkish Coffee Lady. She's like the ambassador of Turkish coffee in the US. Nazlı Uyanık is the founder of Nebyan Doğal. She is building a bridge between local produce and the consumers in big cities for organic products. And Tijen Ziyal is the founder of Immuneflex. She is after superfoods, especially mulberry. The first question is for Esen Tümer. You became an entrepreneur after working as a senior manager in many big corporations. What was in your mind while founding Essential Evolutions?
Thank you. First of all, thanks for the invitation. It's a privilege for me to be here with amazing women around me. And thanks, Serkan, for this introduction. For me, I was working mainly for the healthcare domain for last 25 years, worked as a CEO of the region for Philips Healthcare and Medtronic in general. I was heavily involved already in the technology domain. Then after many years being in the corporate life, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And after studying at Harvard University and Columbia University for the IoT and AI, I established my company in Turkey, in Istanbul, and also in New York, in Manhattan. And we have two companies. One of them is the AI technologies, and the second one is the bioscience Infinitech, which means we are going to be capturing the new technologies under this domain, which is going to be the new age for everything else. And also I am the founder, president of AI Technology Association in the country, affiliated with the AAAI organization in USA, in New York, which means whenever we are in life as an entrepreneur, technology is in the center. It might be about the product, it might be about the process. We are going to be linking in our second question, how we are going to be in the food industry, how this technology will be in the center of everything else, how we can optimize the processes. For me, it's a great pleasure being in the corporate life and being an entrepreneur. As a woman leader, it is a great honor for me to establish something from scratch with the experience coming from the past years. It gave me a amazing encouragement. And also I was being a advisory board member of a smart wearables in Manchester, in UK, which was also eye-opener for me to be in the smart wearables business, where in the pandemic, it is so important to have a protection, to have antiviral, antimicrobial protection, shielding for your clothing. So we are producing smart textile with the protection for yourself for the future. There is overall introduction from my side.
Thank you very much. And the next question is for Gizem Şalcıgil. Can you tell us about your journey to introduce our 500-year-old coffee culture to the world?
With great pleasure. Again, I'm really honored to be on this webinar with incredible women. Thank you so much again for extending the invitation. I've been living in the US for more than 15 years now, and it's my mission in life to promote our cultural heritage and also nation branding of Turkey, because I feel like we need to highlight Turkey's contributions to the global arena, and Turkish coffee is the world's first coffee brewing technique. And it really started with the invention of the pot cezve. It is the genesis of all coffee types, nearly all coffee types around the world today. But unfortunately, when I first came here, I realized people didn't know much about Turkey, and there was very low awareness. And here, 400 million cups of coffee is consumed daily, and Turkish coffee is very, unknown. So I made it my mission in life to promote this amazing cultural heritage and history and traditions. So I started with a social networking site for our American friends where they could learn more about Turkish coffee. It was a virtual Turkish coffee house. And it was very successful, but then we realized people wanted to drink Turkish coffee, in person. So we started doing some seminars and workshops, but the interest was really overwhelming. And I realized that, food trucks were becoming very trendy in the US. So I thought it was the perfect communication tool to spread love for Turkish coffee. So I actually put together one. It's called Turkish Coffee Truck. It was a nonprofit cultural diplomacy initiative to foster cross-cultural communication between societies. And it was a viral project. Washington Post featured it, BBC, many local publications. And we also received an award from the US Congress saying that this was a nonprofit friendship building project. And then we started getting, invitations from all around the world. We went to Europe, Netherlands, Belgium, France. Next year we were in Canada. And again, while I was on these, volunteer tours, I realized there was such potential for Turkish coffee and people wanted to consume it daily, but they couldn't have access, because it's not served at restaurants, not at airports, not at hotels. So I realized that, because gourmet coffee sector was booming, I wanted to establish the first and only Turkish coffee chain in the US, and it's been 3 years. And in addition to that business, I also founded the Turkish Coffee Foundation, which aims to bridge cultures one coffee at a time, but at the same time empowers women.
Thank you. My next question is for Nazlı Uyanık. Cattle farming has an important place in Turkey's economy. And the search for non-GMO and antibiotic-free products is a priority for many consumers. As Nebyan Gıda, can you tell us about the journey of delivering organic meat products to the consumers?
Sure. Hello, everyone, and also thank you for inviting me here. I'm Nazlı, co-founder of Nebyan Doğal. What Nebyan Doğal does is basically, as you've just summarized, we bring together the urban consumers who live in big cities and are looking for natural foods with the local producers in small cities of Turkey. But back in 2014, when I first started this company with my brother, it wasn't actually that common. That search for the organic, the real food was not that common, let alone the online shopping behavior of the consumers. I'm coming from a family from Black Sea region of Turkey, and actually that picture behind me is where our Yayla highland home is. So we spend our summers, the weekends that the roads were not blocked in that house, and we actually witnessed how the animal husbandry, not only cattle farming, but in general the sheep farming as well, how the animal husbandry by the local producers actually came to an end over years, declining year by year, and actually almost non-existent in the perhaps 20 years that I've been growing up. So as a consumer, after becoming a mother, I was more interested in the organic food, how I could source, especially the meats was a real problem because we could find organic food in many other foods, but the meat part is actually a bit more difficult than that. So I realized that there's a real need in the cities. And also coming from the other side, from the producer's side point of view, I saw that we could actually help the local producers stay in where they live. They can make a good living. They can live in their future if we actually provide them a solution as a real good buyer. So we brought together these two parties. So we started our journey in 2014, and since then we've grown many folds. We've reached to over 25,000 customers in Turkey. We now are about to open our third shop in Turkey. We've been a digital brand, and we also got quite many awards and recognitions from papers and some organizations. So that's it about us.
Okay, thank you very much. And the next question is for Tijen Ziyal. One of the most popular trends of recent years is eating organic. your brand Immuneflex brings a superfood, white mulberry products to consumers. Can we listen to the story of your brand?
Thank you very much for you invite me. And then I'm grateful to know the white mulberry because as you know, my white mulberry known like just snake. But when I met white mulberry in first time, childhood, when I was a child, I know the white mulberry, but it was only for eating. When I visit to Erzincan city and Kemaliye, I saw many white mulberry trees. Some of them was bad situation, some of them good. And then I know and I learned when you want to eat white mulberry, you have to take from the leaf by one by. If you take and wait somewhere, if you wait more than 2 hours, there is no physically and mineral and vitamins, no vitamins and no minerals. And then I work with the university. I search all the university results, and I decided to search for one fruit, more than one fruit. We produce from the white mulberry many things, food and food supplements for cosmetic. And when I search, I learned white mulberry leaf has many protein, it's a potential for iron and potential for calcium, more than milk, more than spinach. Everyone doesn't know this before. I didn't know before. I work, and then I produce some goods because I have to produce some foods. Because when you tell to someone what you are doing and what is useful for health or body, you have to show them in a product. All my history and my beginning story is this.
Thank you very much. Now, after the warm-up, we can delve deeper. So the next question is for Esen, Girit, Tümer. As far as we know, you design wearable technologies besides AI. Can you tell us if your technologies can be used in the food industry?
So thanks, a very good question. Indeed, the new technologies, smart wearables or AI technologies, artificial intelligence is used in every industry. That is valid for the food industry as well. Because the global challenge in general is the sustainability is the main challenge. Ecosystem is another challenge. So wherever you are going to have any product, it might be healthcare, automotive, technology, food and culture, agriculture, or just mainly our scope today as the food, that is going to be very important elements, sustainability and ecosystem. How the technologies, smart wearables or AI technologies are going to be helping us to improve is mainly one element is improve efficiency. The other one is the process optimization, operational excellence, and supply chain management. Because these are very important in this sustainability project of everything else. That is the core of everything else. How we are going to be having this process under control with technology, with AI or IoT, Internet of Things, the benefits will be to you utilizing the tools, AI tools, eliminate waste, and you are going to be able to save products, save the timing, save the labor cost, and you are going to save the money and the cost. There's going to be holistically and cumulatively supporting you to impact in your bottom line, plus you are going to have a better satisfaction from your customer sides. That will be a great opportunity for you.
Thank you very much. And Gizem Şalcıgil writes, what did you observe about the consumption habits of foreigners? coffee consumption and their reactions to Turkish coffee culture. Do you think Turkish coffee will be able to reach worldwide recognition?
Wonderful question. Yes, obviously, you know, we have this amazing coffee culture. We should be promoting it more. But while I was on the cultural tour, you know, since 2012, I really had a chance to have a primary research with the consumer. I understood what they were looking for, their expectations, you know, their consuming habits. And again, I would like to highlight this is a huge market for coffee. It's growing significantly, constantly. So we need to be doing a strategic planning for the cultural promotion of Turkish coffee. And we need to do this through cultural diplomacy. Because right now consumers are looking for healthy and also functional foods. So Turkish coffee has a 500-year-old history. It is the world's first coffee brewing technique. It is actually very healthy if you consume it without sugar because it has antioxidants, it's unfiltered, so the coffee beans still have the vitamins. So we need to do a storytelling. And you know, as Turkish coffee also comes with fortune reading, it also has an entertainment aspect to it. So what we need to do here to engage the customer, to really promote, you know, this 500-year-old culture, you need to be, you know, taking advantage of the power of cultural diplomacy, people-to-people communication. We need to be sharing the story. You know, we need to be exchanging these cultural conversations, creating cultural dialogue to understand, you know, we have so much in common. Americans love their morning coffee. We have this amazing cultural heritage. It's also, you know, was admitted to UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List in 2013. So we need to pass this incredible cultural heritage to, you know, next generations, and it is our duty, you know, as Turkish Americans and Turkish citizens to promote this wonderful tradition globally.
Thank you very much. And my question for Nazlı Uyanık. As an entrepreneur, can we say that you aim to bring ancient agricultural practices back? And what were your experiences when exploring Anatolia, especially the Black Sea region?
Yeah, actually, as you've just said, I have to say it's not actually an ancient heritage, but rather we've seen. I'm sorry, I have my cat walking around. I'm very sorry about it. It wasn't planned, so all right, he's gone now. Okay, so sorry, what we're basically trying to do with Nebyan Doğal is, during all my journey, what I've seen is, yes, local production, organic production can feed the world. This is a heritage that we have in Turkey, just like anywhere else in the world. I'm sure they have their own local, not ancient, I would say, but traditional production methods. And this is very important because we see that, okay, when you feed an animal in the highlands, then it's raised with the air there. It's fed with the water. It's fed with the lawn there. So the health effect and the nutritional effect on people, which, I mean, we take this meat as the almost main source of protein to our bodies. It's uncomparable to what we have with the industrial animal husbandry products. So local is not just, it's not just romantic, but it's also more nutritional and more beneficial for us, for all the humanity. So I have to say, we shouldn't be calling it ancient, but rather see it as the whole thing, as the organic production, you know, not using chemicals and not using antibiotics, hormones on animals. So it comes as a package. And I have to say, we see that in, say, Turkish villages, for example, which Turkey was once a land of agriculture, but we always now say, okay, those are history, we can't go back to that. But actually, we have the potential. We currently, our producers' average age is, Serkan Bey, about 65. We have no young generations in the villages. And as you've just said, like Turkish coffee, we have to make sure these young generations, next generations, are interested in the agriculture, in animal husbandry. I mean, let alone the highland tradition, we're losing our classical animal husbandry knowledge. That heritage is almost to be lost if you don't do anything about it. And what we realize is, as long as we give these people, we let them focus on their production only, and as Nebyan Doğal, for example, we handle the rest of the operations. We do the sales, we do the marketing, the logistics, operations, production, everything. And they only have to produce. And that's what they know at best. So if we give these people this opportunity, then the young generations are also willing to be staying in their villages, which means that we can make sure this system continues in a beneficial way, both for the local producers, the next generations, and also for us people who are living in cities, and we don't have to be obliged to eat industrial food outcomes. So what I should be saying is, okay, we're quite romantic about Turkish villages and our agricultural heritage, but it's about to be lost if we don't do anything. But there's still hope. We can develop ways to make sure there's a sustainable economy around agriculture. And we have quite good potential of young people, and also land is there.
Thank you very much. And Tijen Ziyal, as a female entrepreneur, what challenges did you face, and what were your advantages when you were starting your brand?
2020'deyiz. I'm a member of Kagidar. Kagidar is one of the best community for the women. If someone has some difficulty, if you work with Kagidar and if you have some education, everything will be easy. And my last visit to European and USA, England, or Russian, when we go there, we met with the women from all around the world. When we meet there, there is very good meeting, because we connect and we connect the power, woman power. And we are now very powerful. They support the woman, and we support each other. And now Kagidar is working for the gender equality, and women are, I think, better situation.
Thank you very much. And for our last round, I'm going to ask Esen, Girit, Tümer a similar question. Technology is a male-dominated area. What are the challenges you face as a Turkish female entrepreneur?
Well, indeed, I had no difficulty, I can say, because I don't see being an entrepreneur a woman or man, same for the business world. So it is beyond gender, beyond being feminine or masculine or man or woman. I think whenever you know what you are doing, if you are having strong background, it depends on your drive, how you are going to be having the ambition to overcome the obstacles and the problems. I think, like Tijen Hanım just mentioned, NGOs supporting women are really very supportive, very crucial for the success. I was the lucky one. I was already in the business for 25 years. It was male dominant. I was, for example, I was general manager for Philips. Before being assigned as GM for Philips, they were telling me, Esen, you have no chance because you are women, you are Muslim, and you are not engineer, you are very young, and you will have no chance to be the GM. Apart from all the outside world thinking, I was ignoring what others are thinking about it. And I said, I want to be, and I have the background, I believe in myself, I overachieved and I became a general manager. I think that it's so important that what we say, the glass ceiling is indeed in our minds. If we see the outside world is telling us, you cannot do it, if we buy in what they claim, then you personalize it, you put yourself a kind of self-limiting beliefs. I think for the entrepreneurs, woman or man, it doesn't matter. Trusting yourself, believing your capabilities, your competency. Of course, I am learning every day something new. I think it starts with having the self-awareness, knowing yourself, trusting yourself, and do your best, and not afraid of being failures. You can fail, but every time you might lose it, you might again restart. I think that is an amazing journey. It depends on your, I think, desire, how you want to achieve it at the end.
Thank you very much. And Gizem Şalcıgil White, to promote Turkish coffee, you started the 40 years of coffee diplomacy. How did it turn out, and are there any new projects?
Thank you, Serkan Bey. First, let me congratulate Esen Hanım for that wonderful, speech, because it really inspired me. And yes, we are unfortunately facing challenges as entrepreneurs, but because we're so passionate about what we do, we're just moving forward and trying to get to the ultimate goal. So before I comment on your question, I just would like to give you an example, because I've been living in this country for 15 years now, and Americans today, 3 out of 4, they actually consume espresso-based drinks. But did you know that they actually didn't even have any kind of espresso products in the 90s? Until the 90s, they were consuming filtered coffee. But now it is just so wildly popular, not only in the US, but in the global market. We can definitely do the same for Turkish coffee, because I can see that Americans are, adapting to these new coffee types. They are developing new tastes. They actually would like to, experience a ritual now. They want to hear a story about the coffee, or, they want to support a woman-owned business. So habits are changing, the climate is changing. I feel like this is the right time to promote Turkish coffee. And while doing that, again, I would like to highlight, we should be building culinary bridges. Aside from the business standpoint, we need to be talking to our consumer. We have an amazing story to tell. And, as entrepreneurs, as Turkish entrepreneurs, if we really dedicate ourselves to showcase the relevance of Turkish coffee in the global market, I feel like that's gonna take off from there. And another thing, it's not just a drink, it's not just a beverage. It symbolizes peace, friendship, hospitality. First coffee house was opened in Istanbul in 1554, and it was spread to Europe through ambassadors and merchants from there. And in the 18th century, it arrived in the US. So think about, it's a centuries-old ritual, but we always, read about how Turks introduced coffee to Europe, but then we stop there. We didn't tell the rest of the story. Now it is the time to start really showcasing Turkish coffee in the global arena, innovate the products, make sure it's actually catered to the right consumer. We're not doing market research, unfortunately, as Turkish businesses coming into this market, because such a huge opportunity. We're not doing enough market research, primary research. We're not trying to understand our target audience. I feel like once we really, set our goals to promote Turkish coffee globally, it's just gonna start becoming a daily habit of, Americans and other, foreign societies.
Thank you. And Nazlı, Uyanık, do you have new projects for future export possibilities? For example, your niche products like the Karakaya lamb to consumers abroad?
Well, actually, we already started exporting to Dubai. We had a few exports, and we sent our products coming from this highland of Black Sea to an international market, which we're quite proud of. And it wasn't only just meat, but the value-added products, like we had the traditional Turkish sucuk and other charcuterie products. By the way, we produce the charcuterie products in no additives, no chemicals, no E-coded additives way. So that's also something we're quite proud of. So we actually started exports. But we have an amazing range of products available in our producers union, like the blueberries, for example, which is quite common in Europe and US. The consumption is very high there. And also, you know, the nuts, all types of nuts and all these basic food products we have in line. But also we completed the R&D of the pet food, some of the pet food products like the rewards, ödül maması, sorry, but we basically see a huge potential, especially in the US. So we're always working on new products and how we can add value and how we can minimize the waste. That's something we always think about, and we're very excited to be exploring new markets internationally.
Great, thank you very much. And Tijen Ziyal, Turkish cuisine is getting more and more recognition in the global scene. And Turkey is the world's biggest exporter of some products like figs and nuts. What steps can we take to be an even bigger exporter of food?
Thank you. Most dried fruits export from Turkey to the world. Especially Turkey is rich of white mulberry. When people say white mulberry, I want Immuneflex should come to their mind. What I mean, not only the fruits, also the leaves, because the leaves and the fruits for good for bodies and health, diabetes, obesity, and hunger. We are attend international fairs, organizations like science and health, food and food supplements. We have to attend like this fair and organization. Our meetings are going on with the other countries and companies from the other companies. So I want to spread white mulberry all around the world. We can do that, and we are doing this.
Great, thank you very much. And as a last question, I'm going to ask all of you your advices and hints for future entrepreneurs in Turkey, starting with Esen, Tümer.
Well, I always say to young generation also, my first advice for everybody else in the business life, first, you might have role models, but be yourself and be brave. Be brave. I mean, mostly we are very much trained to make, not to make any mistakes. We are concerned. My boss told me, a Dutch boss in the past, told me, you are allowed to make mistakes. Whenever you are free to make it happen, out of control, you take much more risk and you are going to be much more braver than you are going to be winning again. I always admire as role model, Alibaba founder. He was saying he was declined 11 times for every job, even for McDonald's. But at the end, he's a billionaire in the world, which means never ever try to stop just trying yourself, effort, and believing in yourself and be yourself, authentic self.
Okay, thank you. And Gizem Şalcıgil, your comments about this?
So my entrepreneurial journey just happened so organically, but you know, along the journey, I feel like I had such an amazing support system. You know, dedicated volunteers, incredible team members, family members, friends. So I think that's really important when you really create, you know, an idea and you want to take it to the next level. So make sure you have a support system. You don't have to do everything yourself. You don't have to overwhelm or burn out yourself. Make sure, you know, you have people dedicated on your team who believe in your mission, who will walk with you shoulder to shoulder, because there's going to be difficult days ahead. There's going to be challenges almost every day. You know, I started 10 years ago as a volunteer, and I became a social coffee entrepreneur, and the followers started calling me Turkish coffee lady, which I, you know, proudly carry every day. But it didn't happen overnight. It took me 10 years to get here. It's going to take some time. So make sure you have a roadmap. be passionate about what you do, you know, enjoy your work, and again, make sure you have a strong support system so people can, you know, take you to the next level with your mission.
Evet, Nazlı, Uyanık, Yıldız, your advice for young entrepreneurs, please.
Maybe an advice for Turkish young entrepreneurs would be, we started our company in 2014, and since then, every year we had a major event like political instability, the elections, and then some terror attacks, economic, you know, effects changing hugely, and so on. And I was thinking, it's such a bad time to be starting a company, and why did I have to do this? Because I also come from a corporate background. I worked for corporate companies for more than 10 years. But then when I look back at the history of some really big companies, I see they even had worse events environmentally. You know, the world was even horrible place back at the times they, you know, founded their companies. The dollar, you know, devaluated twice at a night. You know, we see all these horror stories, and those companies survived. So we can also survive. I believe in it, and I'm very glad there were very hard times, and I didn't give up. So I could say, don't give up, and there is a light. I promise, there's a light.
Thank you. And Tijen Ziyal, what are you going to tell us about your advice to young entrepreneurs in Turkey?
My first advice, if the young people trust their power, if they believe their power, they can do everything. But first of all, they have to think what I have to do for my country, for my own, before the money. If they think about the future, they can do everything. What can they do? They can own their fields, their peoples, their plans, and everything. If they believe their power, they can do everything. And there is no difficult things on my way. If you believe something, impossible, you can do everything.
Okay. Thank you very much. It was great listening to you all, and you inspired me. I'm sure you are going to inspire many entrepreneurs in Turkey. I wish you all good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.